Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather. This is Honest Homemaking, and today we're going to talk about how I lost almost 20 pounds in 4 weeks by doing the keto diet. You heard that right. I lost 18.3 pounds, I have notes on my phone, in 4 weeks. A little over 2 months ago, I gave birth to my 4th baby boy. If you did not know, he was born on August 13th, so he's just he's 2 months and 11 days old. Everybody's body has kind of a resting weight where your body just kind of sits. When I am, kind of eating smart and not really dieting, I sit around 140 or so. I'm pretty short. That's actually, I would really like to stay around 130, but if I'm not working out and I'm not eating healthy, I sit around 140 or so. When I'm eating healthy and working out like you should just to fuel your body, I sit around 130 or so. So when I got pregnant with Mason, I weighed, on my very first appointment, I weighed 154 pounds. So I was quite a bit higher than my normal everyday weight. You're going to hear Leo and Mason. They're in the other room. Mason is in his swing and Leo is just playing. So they're just right next door. You're probably going to hear them making some noise. Well, hopefully that's not too distracting. When I went in for my very first appointment, I weighed 154 pounds. So that's quite a bit more than what I would consider my resting normal weight. And then on top of that, when you're pregnant, you gain weight. So the day I gave birth, I weighed 185 pounds. And I'm very short. So not only did I have a belly, but you guys have seen my videos. My arms got larger, my face gained weight. I gained weight, all over. Oh, the back, ooh, I gained weight quick there. But I knew the day that I had him that I wanted to lose some weight, but I gave my body time to rest and heal because, I'd just given birth. So I decided that I was going to do something different. Chris and I have talked about the keto diet multiple times. We have tried every diet under the sun. We've done all the Beachbody programs, Les Mills programs. We did Thai belt. You would not believe the amount of exercises we have done. And they have been hard to maintain. When I'm dieting, I feel hungry all the time. I'm constantly obsessing over the numbers, tracking my calories. And I'm hungry. Anyway, when I'm dieting, I'm hungry, I don't have a lot of energy, and I just generally feel crabby because, you're very restricted when you're on what you would call a diet. After my 6-week postpartum checkup, I decided that I was going to really give keto a try. I follow a really sweet girl. Her name is Danielle. She runs a channel called Daniela Diaries here on YouTube. I mentioned her in my Keto Cook With Me, and I will link her channel below for you. I follow her on Instagram, and she restarted the keto diet, and she did a video showing, I think it was like a keto grocery haul, and that was what finally inspired me to try it. I saw her food, and she'd been talking about it and how good she was feeling, and so I finally bit the bullet and we started keto. Now, we've been doing keto now for 4 weeks. We took a week off to go camping. We ate everything in sight, so we don't really count that week. So for the first week of keto, we did really well. I felt great. I dropped 11 pounds in the first week, which is a lot of weight. A lot of that is water that your body holds on to because it's bloated from all the stuff, the sugars and stuff that you're eating. But I lost 11 pounds in the first week. Then we took the second week, we went camping almost in 6 days. So we did not do keto while we were camping, although we could have after we thought about it when we were camping. But we came home and went immediately back to keto. And since then, I have lost another 7.3 pounds. So my total weight loss in the 4 weeks of keto that we did is 18.3 pounds. That's a lot of weight to lose in less than a month. And the most impressive part, at least to me, is that my body fat has gone down almost 5% in just 4 weeks. So I'm losing fat. We have a Fitbit Aria scale, so it shows you your weight and it shows you your body fat percentage. And mine went from 40% told you I had a lot of fat on my, I'm only 5'3", so that's a lot of fat to be on my small frame. I went from 40% to 35.4. I would also like to add that this is without doing any workouts of any kind. We are in a very busy season of life, so we haven't been able to do a lot of workouts. But it's a really good diet. We're not hungry. We feel very satisfied. You know, I guess it's something, I don't know a lot about keto, so I'm not an expert. I'm not going to be able to give you a lot of advice on it. I could just tell you what worked for me. But I guess it's where you eat a lot of fat. It keeps you full. I generally don't eat until after 1 o'clock in the evening. Like it's actually 2:02 right now. My watch. It's actually 2:02 right now, and I haven't eaten anything today, and I'm not hungry. I will get something very shortly because I'll have to leave to get the kids, but I don't want to be super hungry by dinner time, so I will probably eat soon. But on the keto diet, you're not hungry. I have had no cravings. I feel better than I have in years. My skin looks better than it has in years. I have no breakouts anymore. I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. It is an amazing diet, and Chris and I both feel fabulous. He's also lost almost 20 pounds. His body seems to react to it just a little bit differently than mine. He's losing weight. It's just not as quickly as my body has been dropping it off. And I actually think that might have to do with I'm also nursing. I'm breastfeeding while I'm doing it. It hasn't interfered with that in any way, shape, or form. Mason still gobbles up booby all day, every day. He's getting lots and lots of milk because when we had him to the pediatrician, he's in like the 99th percentile for weight. At his 2-month appointment, he weighed 15 pounds, 7 ounces, which is a very big 2-month-old baby. So clearly it doesn't affect my body in breastfeeding. We plan to continue the keto diet as long as it's working for us and we feel good and healthy. We had one cheat day, actually it was about a week ago, and we probably won't do that again because we just felt crappy the next day. I felt sluggish and bloated and like I just couldn't wake up. I don't know. I don't know a lot about it, so I feel like I can't really give an informative video. I'm just giving like my results, but I'm going to insert a picture so that you can see. Sure. You're going to see a lot of mom body right here, but the first picture, of course, is my day 1. The middle picture is actually my week 1 results, and then the third picture is my week 4 results. I wish that I had taken inches measurements, but I forgot to until, you know, I was already a week through it. And by then I was like, well, what's the point if I'm already this far into it? I will leave some resources below. These will be the resources that I have found most helpful in learning about keto and how to start keto. So all the information will be linked in the description. Really, it's just 2 places. Like I said, Daniela Diaries and a website called dietdoctor.com. It's full of like the beginner keto stuff, all the information you're going to need. And they have a sample 2-week meal plan to get you started. That's my cue that it's time to go. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I know he's crying. I'm coming. I hope that it wasn't too all over the place. I hope it wasn't too scatterbrained. And I will see you guys in my next video. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
When you don't eat enough carbohydrates, you force your body to burn more fat. However, this rise in fat burning is often misconstrued as a greater rate of net fat mass reduction on the body. But that ignores the fact that on a ketogenic diet, your fat intake shoots up as well. The question is, what happens to your overall body fat balance? You can't empty a tub by widening the drain if you're cranking up the faucet at the same time. Low-carb advocates had a theory, though, the so-called carbohydrate insulin model of obesity. Proponents of low-carb diets, whether a ketogenic diet or more relaxed form of carbohydrate restriction, suggested that the decreased insulin secretion would lead to less fat storage, and so even if you were eating more fat, less of it would stick to your frame. So we'd be burning more and storing less, the perfect combination for fat loss, or so the theory went. To their credit, instead of just speculating about it, they decided to put it to the test. Gary Taubes formed the Nutrition Science Initiative to sponsor research to validate the carbohydrate insulin model. He's the journalist who wrote the controversial 2002 New York Times Magazine piece, "What If It's All Been a Big Fat Lie?", which attempted to turn nutrition dogma on its head by arguing in favor of the Atkins diet, with its bunless bacon cheeseburgers based on the carbohydrate insulin model. Much of Nina Teicholz's book, The Big Fat Surprise, is simply recycled from Taubes' earlier work. In response, some of the very researchers Taubes cited to support his thesis accused him of twisting their words. "The article was incredibly misleading," one said. "I was horrified." "He took this weird little idea and blew it up, and people believed him," said another. "What a disaster." It doesn't matter what people say, though. All that matters is the science. Taubes attracted $40 million in committed funding for his Nutrition Science Initiative to prove to the world you could lose more body fat on a ketogenic diet. They contracted noted NIH researcher Kevin Hall to perform the study. 17 overweight men were effectively locked in what's called a metabolic ward for 2 months to allow researchers total control over their diets. For the first month, they're placed on a typical high-carbohydrate diet, 50% carbohydrate, 35% fat, 15% protein. And then they were switched to a low-carb ketogenic diet, only 5% calories from carbohydrate, 80% fat, for the second month. Now, both diets had the same number of daily calories. So if a calorie is a calorie when it comes to weight loss, then there should be no difference in body fat loss on the regular diet versus the ketogenic diet. If Taubes was right, though, if fat calories were somehow less fattening, then body fat loss would become accelerated. What happened instead, in the very study funded by the Nutrition Science Initiative, was that body fat loss slowed upon switching to the ketogenic diet. Wait, why do people think the keto diet works if it's actually slowing fat loss? Well, if you just looked at the readings on their bathroom scales, the ketogenic diet would seem like a smashing success. They went from losing less than a pound a week on the regular diet in the 2 weeks before they switched, to losing 3.5 pounds within 7 days after the switch to the ketogenic diet. But what was happening inside their bodies told a totally different story. Their rate of body fat loss was slowed by more than half. So most of what they were losing was just water weight. The reason they started burning less fat on a ketogenic diet was presumed to be because without the preferred fuel, carbohydrates, their body started burning more of its own protein. And that's exactly what happened. Switching to a ketogenic diet made them lose less fat mass and more fat-free mass. They lost more lean mass. That may help explain why the leg muscles of CrossFit trainees placed on a ketogenic diet may shrink as much as 8%. The vastus lateralis is your biggest quads muscle in your leg, shrunk in thickness by 8% on a ketogenic diet. Yes, the study subjects started burning more fat on the ketogenic diet, but they were also eating so much more fat on the keto diet that they ended up retaining more fat in their body despite the lower insulin levels. This is diametrically opposite to what the keto crowd predicted, and this from the guy they paid to support their theory. In science speak, the carbohydrate insulin model failed experimental interrogation. In light of this experimental falsification of the low-carb theory, the Nutrition Science Initiative effectively collapsed. But based on their tax returns, not before Taubes and his co-founder personally pocketed millions of dollars in compensation.
There has been, in recent days, a lot of studies about the ketogenic diet, and people are healing themselves of all kinds of chronic disease. What I like to say, overconsumption diseases. I know people who've healed themselves from cancer, and it is clear, we do know that many of our chronic diseases are a result of overconsumption. Overconsumption creates a state where we never go into this rejuvenative process of autophagy. This is where your body goes into a state of rejuvenation. Your body begins to literally break down and get rid of decrepit, useless, stagnant cells. It may speed up this process of cell mitosis. Well, when you fast, as opposed to ketogenic diet where you're eating a whole lot of fat and stuff, and it could take you up to 10, 14 days to get into ketosis with a ketogenic diet. With fasting, you get the benefits of ketosis within 48 hours. Bang! Fasting is the real ketogenic diet.
A lot of your clients have like diseases. I watched some of your videos where you talk about guys with cancer and AIDS. How does fasting help people that have those kind of problems?
So I've helped a lot of people with cancer, and essentially like fasting combined with obviously cutting sugar, like these are like those well-known ways to kill cancer cells. Like a lot of people are just confused on what cancer even is.
Yeah.
Like, because the mainstream fucking medical system and doctors always have to name everything.
Right.
So as soon as they put a name on something, it's like, oh, it's serious,
Mm-hmm.
Where everybody's producing cancer cells at any given time. Like you are, I am. They're mutated cells.
Right.
Your stem cells will produce some fucked up cells, and your immune system's strong and mine's strong, like from fasting and eating clean food, your body will just kill those fucking things. But when you get older, or if you're a child with a fucked up immune system from crazy amounts of fucking shots or, immunizations or whatever, we can get into that. Fuck, I got haters on that shit too.
Oh yeah.
But if you were born fucked up for some reason, maybe your mom was a fucking drunk or some shit, a fat drunk when she had you, and now you got autoimmune issues at birth, you can get develop cancer at that point because you're just weak. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
It's just a weak immune system essentially will lead to cancer buildup, you should say, like where it starts to turn into something where it actually starts to turn into a tumor, right? And as soon as you start fasting, you starve the shit out of it. And there's other protocols, like right away you definitely want your pH high in your body. So like I'll have people pound baking soda. Baking soda alkalizes the living shit out of your kidneys and your whole body. Like that's one of the known cancer protocols is baking soda and fucking vitamin C. Like
Mm-hmm.
high dose vitamin C you can take during a fast too. That vitamin C will just kill a fucking cancer cell in like 10 seconds. And people, like that's where a lot of these naturopaths that are actually giving people high dose vitamin C, they're getting hated on like crazy in the States. Like if you want to get some serious autophagy and basically increase your heat shock, you got these things called heat shock proteins in your body which do all sorts of awesome health, that give you awesome health benefits. But like saunas are good, but you got to watch if you're drinking that salt water, you don't want to like sweat out too much salt, so you're gonna have to get a little more salt in after. But I'll do dry saunas, like where I'll go dry, and I'll be fairly dry, like a good 20 hours dry, and then I'll sit in the sauna for like 2 hours, and you can feel it. When you're in that deep state of ketosis, plus you're dry fasted, your body gets to a situation where it needs to break down body fat just to get that metabolic water to hydrate you.
Yeah.
So if you're dry and you go sit in that sauna, but like you want to keep the intensity down in the sauna, so you want to sit like at the bottom of the sauna. You don't want to be too hot. You just want to keep it as long as you can, but not too hot. And you will burn some serious body fat when you do that. Like your heart rate will go up. Mine will get up a good, maybe, as much as 50 points over resting just from sitting there in the heat. And so it's almost like basically simulating lazy steady state cardio, and you're on the fast. So you're just roasting body fat.